Hey guys, you're watching Cait Straight Up, and I am Caitlin, and today I'm going to show you how to make a one-pot beef stroganoff. This recipe has so much flavor, and it's all made in this one pot. It's super easy. I can't wait to eat it myself. I kind of wish it was made already, but you're really going to love it. It's a super easy beef stroganoff. So for this recipe, you're going to need about 5 tablespoons of butter total. I know it's not the healthiest thing on the planet, but butter makes it better, so dump it all on in. I have mine at like room temperature here, and I have a nice hot skillet, and we're gonna put in about 3/4 to half of our butter that we'll need for the total recipe and allow it to melt down. While our butter is melting, I'll talk to you about our beef. So I have a sirloin steak here that I sliced up into these nice thin pieces. That's a really delicious cut of meat to go into this dish, but any thin slice of meat will work. You could even get some of that, if, when you're in the grocery store and they're like, this is a stir-fry meat. That will work too, but if you have a better cut, this dish will really pop. So we're gonna lay these thin slices into our cast iron skillet and our butter, and we're gonna just brown them up first. It's our first step here, nothing crazy. I did season it with a little bit of some salt and pepper. I brought it to room temperature also, as you should always do when you're cooking meat. Once they are browned up on one side, you're just gonna give them a flip so they get browned on the other. And you don't have to cook it all the way through. We just kind of want to give both sides a nice cook in this butter, and then we're actually gonna remove it and start our sauce in this exact pot. So just go ahead, give them a flip, cook for about another minute or so, and then we're pulling it off and getting our sauce going. So once your meat is nice and brown on both sides, you're gonna just take it off and put it on a plate. It's gonna go back into this sauce eventually, but remove it for now, and it's time to add those other ingredients. When we're done with this stroganoff sauce, your kitchen, your house, everything is gonna smell epic. You're gonna love it. So once our meat is out of our dish, we're gonna add about 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup of shallots. We're gonna dice them up nice and small. You can also use onion here if you don't have shallots. I specifically like shallots for this dish over onion. So we're starting off our shallots first. We wanna let them get a little bit translucent, give them a head start on our mushrooms. Our mushroom medley here, we have some cremini, some portobello, just a nice mix of some mushrooms to go into our stroganoff. So as you're giving your mushrooms and shallots a nice stir, it's a great time to add some spices. So simple stuff here. We have black pepper. The real flavor from this dish is coming from the shallots, coming from the steak, coming from the mushrooms. So we're just adding some black pepper and some salt. There is one other secret little spice that we're gonna do, and it's great for fall. We're gonna hit it with a little bit of nutmeg, not too much to be overwhelming, but just a little bit, and then allow our mushrooms to continue to sweat down. So I had to throw my apron on here because cooking on a hot plate, it's very unpredictable. Sometimes you get an old splash of butter on you. And so now I get this super cute apron. Very fun. So we added in the remainder of our butter, and we're starting to smell that our mushrooms are getting to the right point. They're starting to sweat down a little bit. And it's time for some garlic. Now, you know that I put garlic in everything. So if you don't want garlic in this dish, that's fine. But you just want to do a nice grate of it because you don't want it to be super overpowering in this dish. So just a little bit quick grate of garlic in there, and it's gonna really add some delicious flavor. Now, the smells coming out of this, you know a mushroom's cooking when it gets that good scent coming out. We have that garlic in now. We have obviously our shallots, our other spices. As everything's cooking down here, it's a great time to discuss what our stroganoff is gonna be served over. This is best served over an egg noodle, a dumpling, a gnocchi, mashed potatoes, any nice starch that is just going to be delicious, because this sauce, when we're done, like, you're going to want something with it. I think traditionally it's served mostly with egg noodles, but give whatever a try. Stick with that family though. Egg noodles, gnocchi, mashed potatoes, dumplings, all goes great. So there are only a few steps left to this delicious beef stroganoff. So we have our mixture here. We're going to add in a little bit of marsala, and then just give it a nice stir. Kind of let everything come up with that cooking, that cooking wine. It's gonna be really great. Just get it all up, and it's gonna start to make a delicious sauce. You're gonna see this coming together right in front of your eyes. There's only one final step to this stroganoff before we put our beef back in and get ready to serve it over our egg noodles. And that is adding in our sour cream. So you want to stir in your sour cream. I have about a cup here, maybe a little bit more, because I like it to be creamy. But you're going to want to stir that in once everything is cooked, because you don't want to hit your sour cream with too much heat. It could cause it to curdle. So we have to be on medium when we add our sour cream to our mix here. So once everything is at the consistency that you think you want, you've cooked it down a bit, it's time for some sour cream. So you're just gonna add it into your sauce. It looks a little funny at first, so just make sure, I'm gonna scrape all of it in there because why not? That looks good. And then you're just gonna begin stirring it into your sauce. Again, we put our apron on because we ain't trying to get super messy. But that when we pour that marsala in, it's actually going to deglaze your pan a little bit. So you're going to pick up some of the flavors that cooked into your cast iron skillet. And then you're just going to stir until you start getting this brownish color. That means you're getting the color from the mushrooms. You're getting the color from the butter. You're getting that delicious coloring into your stroganoff. At this point, when we're on medium heat, I like to add my steak back in. And then I usually give it a few more minutes with my meat in there. There is some fat on the steak here that still got some juices in it. We didn't cook it all the way through. I don't know if you remember. So I like to give it a little bit more time. An important thing is you don't want your sour cream coming to a boil. That will cause it to curdle. So you just gotta watch it. A few bubbles is not a big deal. It just can't be going at like a rolling boil or anything like that. And after that, your stroganoff is completely done. You have beef stroganoff here. I like to hit it with a little bit more black pepper. And then I always like to do my dishes, finish it off. Not always, but this one calls for a little bit of a parsley. And then it is ready to be served over some egg noodles. Look how delicious this stroganoff is gonna be. You guys are gonna love it, and it could not be easier. It was all in one pan, a delicious beef stroganoff. Make sure to subscribe to Cait Straight Up for more fun recipes like this one every Tuesday. If you have a comment or request, do that below this video. Find me on Instagram, Cait Straight Up Cooking, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.